Though we're a handful of months away from the start of the NFL season and another excursion into the winding road of fantasy football immortality, it's never too late to scout the new recruits. Our armies are vast, but it is often within those haystacks that one team will prevail, and it is within the Dharma, however, that one shall find the glory that is beyond all victory.
We'll jump right in with Makai Lemon scouting. We got a 2x2 set, 2 receivers up top, 2 at the bottom here. Lemon, you're going to see him often in the slot. He plays some Z2. Really, this route is kind of like a slant or just an in-breaking route, but the idea is that he's going to have an outside release and then cut it back in. You can see that the defensive back has an outside leverage. This is important. His helps inside. He's got linebacker and a safety over the top, helping him inside. Lemon, little release action here versus soft press. Now watch the cornerback's heels. Lemon squares him up at the snap, gets him to step inside and off balance, which allows him to get outside, and that's going to actually open the cornerback's hips. They call that opening the gate. So now he's facing the sideline. Lemon breaks, and he's got all this space back inside, and you can see some separation quickness out of his break here. He gets about a yard and a half before the cornerback begins to recover, and still more with that. And then at the catch point, you can see his body control and adjustment. Still catches it outside his frame. You get to see some yak there afterwards. Breaks a tackle. Still gets upfield. Easy transition for him. All right, versus Michigan, we've got some red zone action here. USC comes out in a 3x2 set. A lot of space up to the field there for the 2 wide receivers. Lemon's going to be on the ball in the slot here. And we get to see him versus off coverage this time. And he's going to run a corner route. He's going to come up, stutter a yard in front of the cornerback, and break it to the pylon. You can see there's about 7 yards off between them. Michigan, the cornerback that's off is in man on Lemon, and that cornerback can play anything outside because he has big help inside. Those safeties there, especially the one highlighted, is basically just creating a wall that says you are not cutting this back inside. So he's got tons of help inside that cornerback, and he knows that will allow him to basically push Lemon outside, which makes it easy for him to stay in phase with it. Lemon stutters. Quarterback is right there in phase, ball's out. Now this to me is what makes Lemon really special, one of his best traits. You can see where the ball is. Now look at Lemon, full extension, falling backward. The cornerback is basically draped over his neck. Full extension, ball's right there, squeezes it perfectly. Cornerback's basically, squeezing his head. Lemon still maintains his concentration. Poise, comes down with the catch. It'd be about 7.5 points in PPR. So pre-draft, before we get to whichever team selects him for fantasy purposes, his story, here's what he can do. He can win versus soft press. He's very smart. Manipulation with his releases and his routes. Comes out of his breaks clean. He can get real separation when he's manipulating defenders, DBs. He's got nuance and manipulation in his route running. Snap out of it. And to me, his best traits is catching. His ability to adjust to the ball, catch it out in front of him, pluck it with his hands, his hand dexterity, and his body control. And he's also great after the catch with his physical strength and elusiveness. He also returned punts. So it all comes together. So check back post-draft, where we know his team, where he'll land, and we can translate that into 2026 fantasy